All right, folks, welcome to America Talks Live. I'm Steve Malzberg. It's Friday! And Roger Stone, the one and only, joins us for 2 segments. But first, joining me now, my Newsmax TV colleague Miranda Khan with the latest on the protests in Charlotte and the shooting in Tulsa.
Thanks, Steve. North Carolina police arrest one person linked to the shooting death of another protester on Wednesday night. This comes as things are slowly returning to normal in Charlotte.
Today compared to yesterday is way better than the other day. When you came up here, you seen that everything was messed up. It was bad.
Last night was the 3rd night of protest against the police shooting death of Keith Scott. Police say Scott got out of his car holding a gun and was shot after he refused to drop that weapon. Meanwhile, the Oklahoma police officer charged with manslaughter for killing an unarmed black man surrenders to authorities. Beth Shelby turned herself in this morning. This just hours after she was charged in Terrence Crutcher's death. Dash cam video shows Crutcher had his hands in the air. You can see it right there when he was shot. But Shelby's lawyer says she thought that he was reaching into his car for a weapon. And a new McClatchy Marist poll shows Hillary Clinton's lead over Donald Trump has dwindled. She's currently leading him by just 6 points, 45 to 39%. For much more on these stories, please visit Newsmax.com. I'm Miranda Khan. Back to you, Steve.
All right. Thank you, Miranda. Well, folks, let's talk about that situation in Tulsa. To me, shockingly and very quickly, we got this announcement.
In the matter of the death of Terrence Crutcher, I determined that the filing of the felony crime of manslaughter in the 1st degree against Tulsa police officer Betty Shelby is warranted. Officer Shelby, although now charged, is presumed to be innocent until a judge or a jury determines otherwise.
Charged with manslaughter. I don't think she's going to get convicted. We shall see, but only time will tell, and it'll go through the legal process. Okay. As far as Charlotte, there's a report, ladies and gentlemen, a report that 70%, Charlotte police say 70% of those arrested protesters in Charlotte are from out of town. They don't live in Charlotte. That's what this is. This is a joke. This is a joke. They bust them in or fly them in or whatever. They ride them in, whatever. We know what happened in Ferguson with the outside agitators. This apparently, according to police, is reportedly what's happening in Charlotte as well. Disgraceful. Okay, I want you want to talk about disgraceful? Listen to the president of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg branch of the NAACP on CNN saying that even if the man who was shot in Charlotte had a gun, doesn't matter. Watch.
At the end of the day, you know, a video may show a different perspective depending on the angle. And so if we don't have many different angles, you may not get the full picture. I think the most important part is the contrast in him having a book versus a gun. But in my mind and in most of the community's mind, it really doesn't matter if he had a gun. At the end of the day, we have the right under the Second Amendment to carry here in North Carolina. And their responsibility was to engage him in a more de-escalated way, find out if he had a permit for his gun, and allow him to go on his merry way, and he would still be living today.
Right. It's the cop's responsibility. Even if he had a gun and got out of the car with the gun when he was told not to, it's the cop's responsibility to de-escalate. Unless, of course, they're shot dead, then they can't de-escalate. So it doesn't matter if he had a gun. That's the new narrative. I know it didn't matter to Hillary. To Hillary, he's just a dead African-American at the hands of the cops. Doesn't matter what he did. Doesn't matter the circumstances. This is dangerous talk. Very dangerous talk for cops and for civilians. Now, let's talk about First Amendment rights. You know what's going on in sports, right? All this and the kneeling and the national anthem disrespect. Well, there's a Seattle Mariners catcher. His name is Steve Clevenger. He's on the disabled list right now. And he tweeted some stuff out, according to published reports, FoxNews.com. He's taken them down, but he tweeted them out. Let's put the first one up here, shall we? Black people beating whites when a thug got shot holding a gun by a black officer. Ha ha. Expletive. Cracks me up. Keep kneeling for the anthem. Okay. You know what? He's expressing his disgust. He saw the videos that we played here of whites being hunted down like animals by blacks in Charlotte. What are they protesting? According to cops, they're protesting an African American with a gun, disobeying orders, getting shot by an African American cop. I don't know what the expletive was, but barring that, I don't see anything terribly wrong with that tweet. Then he also tweeted this. Black Lives Matter is pathetic once again. Obama, you are pathetic once again. Everyone involved should be locked behind bars like animals. Now, is that insensitive? Absolutely. But are these thugs roaming the streets, tracking down whites, taking their pants off and dragging them around, kicking a homeless man, a white homeless man, to the ground, throwing rocks and bottles at cops, looting and rioting? Is that like animals? And when I say that, people say I'm insulting animals. So there's your answer. Now, you would think, guy's got a constitutional right? First Amendment, right? Well, Seattle Mariners said, while he is certainly free to express himself, his tweets do not in any way represent the opinions of the Mariners. We strongly disagree with the language and tone. But then they said this. Let's put this up. We are currently examining all internal options that are available to us as we determine appropriate next steps. So he's going to get punished for this? He's going to get punished? While people can kneel during the national anthem, that's their constitutional right, but this isn't his constitutional right? I'm a little confused. Not really.